G'day Bomber fiends, one of two videos today. I am absolutely thrilled by our latest draft selection, so much so I decided to make two videos talking about both of them rather than the one I was originally going to do for the draftees last night. Luamon Lual has joined Essendon. It is a huge get. We will talk about it now, and if you want to see me talk about Nate Caddy and Archie Roberts, those videos are also up on my channel as well. So Luamon Lual has joined the Bombers with pick 39. This was actually my prediction on our mock draft. I had us taking him with our late second round pick because we need general defensive coverage. Nick Hind, Dyson Heppel, Jake Kelly, they're all winding down a bit, and then we have failed players like Alistair Lord and Massimo who have left the club. I highlighted our key forward and small defence as areas that we needed improvement. Lual improves that. I wasn't expecting him to be available this late because one pick later and the Dogs would have had access to him. If he slid to pick 40, the Dogs could have matched a bid and brought him in through their next generation academy, so we got really lucky here in my eyes. Let's talk a bit about Lual. He is someone I've followed very closely this draft. He's one of my favourite players. I've spoken lots of him throughout the year. He comes from a South Sudanese family. They moved here before he was born, I think. I could be wrong. He has had a pretty tough run in recent years, had some family tragedy, which I won't talk about here. If you want to learn more about him as a person, there is a mini documentary on the AFL YouTube account that I highly suggest you watch. It shows that he is such a headstrong young man. He's really well spoken, he's calm, he's collected. You can see why he had some leadership roles in his junior years. Last year he captained Vic Country in an under-17 carnival game, or one-off carnival game, I think. He just seems really aware. Let's be real, footy players aren't always known for their smarts off the field, but Lual seems like a really good young man. I think he will be great to have around the club. He just seems like an intelligent individual. I think he'll be a favourite on and off the field. So let's talk about him as a player. He bases his game off CJ Jath. I think he might look up to him a little bit. I've seen him talk about him a lot. It makes sense. You come through the ranks and you see another South Sudanese player played the same way as you. So Lual plays a lot like him. He's very athletically gifted. There are just things that those with a Sudanese frame can do that others can't. It's why we see clubs often seek out players linked to the nation. Lual is extremely quick. He glides around. His long legs make him look a lot slower than he is, but he is rapid. He's very good in the air for his size. He's quite small, but he feels a lot bigger because of how good he is in the air and his leap. I feel like he often gets a hand into spoil when you think he can't. He has a good tank. Most of these kids do, to be fair. Everyone has a good tank, and he just loves to run. That's what his game is. I can talk about how he is better in the air than he should be, or that he can provide a good defensive effort, but it's his running that everyone will talk about. He really likes to take players on. He breaks lines really well. Something he's good at is acknowledging when players are flat-footed and going. You will often see him leave players behind really quickly because his acceleration is very good. He is not like Nick Hind, who just runs for the sake of running sometimes. I think he is really smart at picking the right spots to go for. It's a trait not many have, and I haven't seen many talk about it with Luamon Lual, but there was one game in particular. It was a champs match where I saw him break through lines a couple of times and identify when to do so, and that can really damage defensive structures. It's a great thing to have in your defense, a player who can single-handedly loosen a tight defense, and that is what you get with Lual. You get a really aggressive, attacking-minded defender who is still pretty decent down back as well. I probably wouldn't trust him to play AFL minutes on a good forward right now. He is very lean. He needs to build some muscle and experience through the VFL first, but in the future I can see him being a pretty handy one-on-one defender as well. He has shown he has that competitive edge which is needed at the highest level. He doesn't like to be beaten. You look at players like Massimo D'Ambrosio, for example. That is someone who I wouldn't call tenacious with his defensive work. Lual definitely can be. He works hard and it shows. I should highlight some weaknesses because at pick 39 there are bound to be some. The main one that everyone will mention is his ball use, and it's fair enough. You can even see in his highlights that he isn't the best kick. He often kicks under the ball. He doesn't really have penetration, which probably needs to be fixed a little bit. He is a fairly long kick, but I wouldn't say he's a powerful kick. I do see some say he is a butcher. I don't see that at all. I feel like he will often have maybe 4 or 5 turnovers by foot, but that is probably more so because he likes to take on those aggressive kicks that others won't try as much. It's like when people highlight Merritt's kicking efficiency, saying it's not any good when the guy tries a lot with ball in hand. It's the same with Lual, except I do think he can improve on his kicking. He loves to have ball in hand. He loves to use his pace, but I think at his best, I've seen him breaking lines and giving off a hand pass. I can see him maybe being a bit frustrating early in his career at times because he doesn't always hit a target, but I do think the pros outweigh the cons. I've been keen on this player for a while now. I should also say I do not see him playing AFL footy in 2024, at least I hope he doesn't. Our defence is pretty set. We would have to have a few injuries elsewhere for him to play. I think he is going to be better than Nick Hind eventually. He has a better career at this point to him at the same age. Same with CJ Jath, who he bases his game off. Even the same with Adam Sard. Sard was taken in the rookie draft. He is still very lean though. He's very underdone. He needs a lot of gym work, but we haven't had a top player who uses his speed to his advantage in quite a while really, since Sard and McKenna. I think Lual can be that player. I'm really excited for him. I've spoken of him a lot on this channel. I think he is going to be a very exciting player. I see him being a cult figure for us in a few years. I'm just glad we risked it with him. There were other options around, including Roberts, who I'll talk about in my other video, but we picked Lual. You guys should be really excited for him. I feel like we will see VFL highlights and begin to love him, and we look at the VFL next year. I think Jaden Davey plays there regularly if fit. Lual plays there regularly if fit. It's great because it's going to get us fans watching the reserves more to be excited about the future. He's a long-term prospect, one that is at his best, super damaging, super exciting. He's a great get. So that is that. Video 1 done for the day. As I said, check out my other video on Archie Roberts, who was drafted after Luamon Lual. I am equally as pumped about that selection. Also, go check out my video on Nate Caddy if you haven't already. But that is that. Let me know down below what you think of our draft of Luamon Lual. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and as always, go Bombers.